My guests are somebody who are very involved in that in a few different roles. First, Christina Andreoli, who's the Executive Vice President at the Worcester Regional Chamber of Commerce and also President of Discover Central Mass, and Troy Siebels, who runs it all and does it all at the Hanover Theater. Welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Well, Christina, maybe we could start with you. Discover Central Mass is a fairly new organization, maybe a year and a half. Maybe you could give our viewers a little overview of what its mission is.
Sure. We're about 18 months old. We're the region's tourism bureau, and we support the marketing and sales effort on behalf of the city of Worcester, as well as 35 cities and towns that represent Worcester County. We've spent the last year and a half really building our brand and getting information out to both meeting planners and event planners, as well as convention planners, about utilizing the city's assets, specifically its convention center, and some of its meeting space to bring visitors in with them to spend money in the city.
And so really it's a multi-pronged approach, trying to bring events and tournaments and conventions and things into the city as well as the region where appropriate.
Absolutely. A lot of it is direct sales, so reaching out to the right people who are making the decisions on those types of tournaments or competitions or events, and then marketing it so it has some brand recognition outside of our borders, that people think of Worcester or think of Central Mass when they're looking at different options like that.
And so, for example, one of the things I remember some of the hotels and restaurants talking about this past summer, some of the AAU tournaments, athletic tournaments, softball and baseball, that came to the city primarily, but also in the region, filling hotel rooms during the summer, fields, restaurants. That generates economic activity.
Absolutely. 2 weeks ago, we had America East, which is swimming and diving at Worcester Polytechnic Institute. That was a big event for us. We had about 1,200 competitors, plus their families. They stayed here for 4 days. They stayed in the hotels. They ate on Highland Street and Shrewsbury Street and Park Ave. And this week, coming up, we will have cheer and dance at the DCU Center. We have American Legion coming this summer, and of course May is a big time for us with the regattas on Lake Quinsigamon. Right.
And Troy, you are the chair of this board.
I am.
Which are regional, again, city representation from cultural and the city itself, also some regional representation from the chambers. You're involved. How do you see this impacting the economy?
I think that it's dollars coming into the city that would be going someplace else. And I think that the organization, though we're just 18 months old, has had a real track record so far. We've had some real success at bringing events in. And a piece of what we do is also general tourism marketing, building the awareness of Worcester and its assets to the, call it a 200-mile radius around us, and Worcester for day trips, and all of our cultural organizations and other organizations in Worcester that are a good place for a day trip.
Right. So in addition to trying to bring additional things and events to the city and the region, promoting what we've got. And Hanover is a great example of a real jewel.
Sure, absolutely.
And we're seeing, I think, some trends from what I understand in terms of, as we try to track zip codes and things, working with some of our restaurants or organizations like you in terms of new visitors from places coming that ordinarily haven't in the past.
Yeah, we certainly track our audiences by zip code, and it is an expanding circle, and we credit Destination Worcester with a part of that, with Discover Central Mass, to really help build the awareness in a wider circle. Yeah.
Right. So 18 months, but you've got your first annual meeting, I think?
Somewhat. So I'm sure folks know that the restaurant scene in Worcester is booming and growing every day. I think there's an announcement for a new restaurant opening every week, which is great news. It's creating a culinary destination, a dining destination that we can help market and promote. So we've been meeting with the restaurant industry on a quarterly basis to talk about advertising and marketing Worcester as a culinary destination. And one of the things that came out of that was that there is a Food Network star who actually was born and raised in Worcester. His name is Jeffrey Zakarian. People probably know him best for Chopped or The Iron Chef. He's now on Cons versus Cooks, and he's on The Kitchen as well. So he's a well-known face in the food and culinary world. He has restaurants in New York City, Atlanta, Miami. He's very famous. And yes, he grew up in Worcester, went to Burncoat High School, and he went to Worcester State University. So that's a cool claim to fame to have. So we wanted to capitalize on that. We extended an invitation for him to come to Worcester, to the Hanover Theater, for performing arts, and he accepted. So he will be here on Monday, February 27th.
And so in addition to a little business and him speaking, it's also open to the public, right?
Yeah, absolutely. We've got about 800 people so far and plenty of space, so it's people adding their names to that list every day.
And somebody who has got some national notoriety, but also, to Christina's point, we're seeing some national attention, certainly regionally, about Worcester's restaurant scene. We were at an event at the Hanover Theater that the Chamber ran together with the Mass Restaurant Association, and the gentleman who runs the Mass Restaurant Association was at a New England event and was talking and said that the two hottest restaurant scenes in the region, in Massachusetts, are the Seaport District in Boston and Worcester, which it's great to hear somebody outside validating what we're witnessing.
That is great to hear. And we'll celebrate that at this event. We'll talk about what's going on at the restaurant scene in Worcester and what Chef Zakarian sees going on in the restaurant scene nationally. I think it's going to be a fascinating conversation.
So if people want to purchase tickets, how do they do that?
They visit thehanovertheater.org, or they can call it the box office, but go to the website. All the information's there.
So February 27th, 6:30 at the Hanover, and tickets are $28, but I'm sure it'll be a good show and some refreshments.
Yeah, so we invited Scott Kiernan, who is the editor of Boston Zagat, to come and interview Jeffrey Zakarian. So I think the conversation will focus a little bit on Worcester's restaurant scene and how to create a culinary destination, but we'll also focus on some of the accomplishments that he's had. We also have Snap Chef, which is a local company that just moved into Worcester and is placing restaurant workers in different industries by training them and giving them the skills that they need. They will be a sponsor of the event. So
good stuff.
Yeah, we're looking forward to it.